From the time of 11 Tanda. At night in Shenzhen, remember to begin with the sounds. The sky is not dark. It's the 50-story LED billboards advertising facial recognition software. Electric scooters, blue, light-headed, silent and ruthless run, the intersections like a swarm of mechanical fish below. Aromas of spicy lamb skewers, ozone and wet concrete. This is China in 2026, a place where the future has already made its presence felt yesterday and is already calling for an upgrade. If you are interested in this place, you need to check the math. China has an area of 9.6 million square kilometers. It represents 18% of the world's human population, 1.4 billion souls, which are crammed in megacities where New York is treated like a provincial village. The population of Shanghai is 26 million. Beijing has 22 million. Change was never the subject of debate amongst the community of China watchers. The question is, what's erased for this change? It is beside a 2,000-year-old imperial palace, and it is beside a 100-story skyscraper completed in 90 days. This is China. Now to the part that very few visitors would expect. You order 3 things from a shop via your phone at the same time: a coffee, a prescription, and a new phone charger. A man on an electric scooter drops all 3 at your apartment door 18 minutes later. It's not magic, it's the algorithmic grid. Established AI that can determine delivery routes to the second, China has more than 10 million delivery riders. They don't stop for water, or their pay is docked. It's a strange, beautiful enigma, a society that has fully mastered the people consuming goods and is now converting millions of people into a cog in a gigantic machine of goods supply. Hold on to that. We will get there. You have to understand a person's daily grind to understand them. It's an early start to the day. It's breakfast, baozi, deep-fried sticks of dough, dipped in warm soy milk and eaten standing on a subway platform. The climate is like another continent, cold and polluted winters in northern latitudes, where in Harbin it can reach temperatures as cold as -20. Humid and tropical vernal swamp in Guangzhou, where the sweat never dries. Transport is amazing. They have a total length of more than 45,000 kilometers high-speed rail. In absolute silence, travel 200 kilometers km from Beijing to Shanghai at 350 km/h. But take a more closely examine the family structure. The traditional family tree has been turned upside down due to the one-child policy, 1980-2015. It's known as the 4-to-1 format. Carrying burden for both monetary and emotional support for 2 parents and 4 grandparents is 1 young adult. No brothers or sisters to share the load. On the other hand, if the grandparent is not well in a Tier 3 city, the 25-year-old grandson in Shenzhen should settle the hospital bill. It is a boiling pot of filial. It drives each and every career decision they make. Yes, this is the part the title stated, the Chinese girls and women. Search the internet about Chinese girls, and what you will come up with is white as a jade, flawlessly formed with on-trend outfits in a delicate frame. First, the fashion aspect, because in 2026, it's a war zone. In the urban population, you will find guochao, national pride fashion, such as Chengdu and Hangzhou. Millions of young women are opting out of Western fast fashion in favor of Hanfu, the long sleeves, silk fabric flowing garments from the Ming and Han dynasties, complete with elaborate embroidery. These are 2,000-year-old dresses that they wear to the mall, to bubble teas and the subway. Oliver, what an interesting contrast. However, there is a truth in this statistic that surpasses any fashion craze. There's a serious and staggering demographic behind the pretty pictures of girls in silk gowns sipping matcha. Beauty standards are strict, white, thin, and young. The cosmetic surgery industry is a $50 billion juggernaut that has made double eyelid surgery and neck liposuction the norm, as well as does make facial shaving for girls as early as 18 a standard. However, although women are outperforming men when it comes to university enrollment, they reached an invisible, suffocating ceiling. Parents wave their daughters' umbrellas, their daughters' resumes at the marriage markets in People's Park in Shanghai, putting their daughters' birth years, work and salary on their resumes. Where someone is unmarried and 28 years old, she is a leftover woman, Sheng Nu. The state and society require them to marry and become parents because there is a problem of population, whereas women are not allowing that. They are deciding to remain single, to establish occupations, to own their own apartments. What you're looking at is T-frac hours of society's invisible and unrelenting rejection, and you're buying beauty with them. To make sense of their persistence, one must think on the ground that they stand upon. The fabric of concrete is here for resilience. China, in 40 years, has gone from being a peasant agrarian nation, wrecked by the Cultural Revolution, to become the world's second largest economy. 66% of the population in 1990 was living in extreme poverty. In cities, this number becomes almost equal to zero by 2026. They are not simply able to ride out these historic lashings. They walk over it, and on it they stack a skyscraper, and in the lobby of the skyscraper they open a Starbucks. They cannot afford sorrow. It is a luxury they cannot afford. This is where the chair daydream becomes a spreadsheet. By 2026, the Chinese economy will be a conundrum for any outsider. In US dollars or euros, China is a deal for a tourist. A taxi charge for a 15-minute trip is $2. A high-quality, large hot pot meal for two persons may cost $25. One luxury high-rise in Chengdu is available for $800 a month. But for the local, this is a mathman's nightmare. In average, the income of a graduate after he/she leaves the university is 7,000 or 8,000 RMB at a Tier 2 city, which is equal to $1,000 per month. To buy a base apartment in the same city, though, it costs 2 million RMB or nearly $300,000. It takes 25 years of saving 100% of their income just to be able to pay for the down. The unemployment rate for young people has remained more than 20%. How do they cope? They don't buy houses. They go and hide themselves in their rooms. The discounts you avail ourselves of on holiday is a distance in the broken dreams of somebody. If one has made the effort up to this point and you are enjoying the show, then a like and subscribe can really help. This is the secret which is unleashed by the title. The dark side of China's rapid rise. The threat in China is not to be found in the streets. There is no real violent crime, really. There's no crime of violence because of the surveillance state. The nation has more than 700 million cameras in place that connect to facial recognition systems capable of spotting one individual throughout all the way from a single end of Beijing to the other in a few minutes. There's no danger of muggings, but this threat is very real. It's psychological and it wears a suit. The risk is the work of 996, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. for 6 days a week. There's an unwritten code that if, when your boss sends a WeChat message, it is not replied by 11 past p.m. on Sunday, then you are fired. The result is a dark secret movement. Tang Ping, lying flat. Millions of young people are simply being lost. They aren't willing to work overtime. They are not willing to buy homes. They are not willing to get married or have children. It has become Bailan, letting it rot. It is a silent and sad teen uprising in which a whole generation determines to opt out of a rigged system. The real danger in China is the gradual suffocation of the hope in all the lives in one generation that discovers the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow was a hologram. Leave behind the concrete megacities, and the nature of China will assail your senses in a brand new fashion. This is a land where things are impossible and terrifying. The sandstone pillars in Zhangjiajie soar up to 1,000 meters high, seemingly floating in the clouds and forming the basis for the floating mountains in Avatar. In the south, the Li River cuts through green, painted-looking cast teeth that sprout like Niagara Falls out of the ground. To the west are the endless deserts of the Taklamakan, where the old Silk Road cities are swallowed up in the sands. Then there's the railway, asinine on the face of it, that goes up to Tibet, passing through permafrost at an altitude of 5,000 meters. For those who would like to give this country a shot, these are their first steps. Don't only do Beijing and Shanghai. Get a flight to Chengdu in the Sichuan province. Yes, it's the panda capital, but it's also a hub of China's easygoing, spicy, anti-996 culture. Play mahjong with locals for 6 hours while enjoying jasmine tea in a tea house on the bamboo seats. If you're looking for a hidden gem, get to Hanging Temple, a 1,500-year-old wooden temple hanging precariously off a sheer cliff on the high-speed rail to Datong in Shaanxi province, or visit the Yungang grottos, where 50,000 figures of Buddhas have been carved into the face of a mountain. Practical tips. Cash is dead. You need to download Alipay, WeChat, and connect your foreign credit card prior to landing, or you won't be able to purchase a bottle of water. Don't assume that anything on the internet will function when in the West, unless you have a good VPN. Therefore, here is the mirror. 2026. China is not a place you just watch passively. It's a place that questions your understanding of progress. It makes you question a society that can construct a hospital in just 10 days and can't get its young people to believe that life is worth living. The girls holding their slim shoulders straight, carrying their Hanfu dresses, look so beautiful, but the expectation bestowed upon them by 5,000 years of patriarchy. The men are caught up in the algorithmic trap of their own making. Food is a regional showpiece, and surveillance is an absolute control statement. Perhaps it is not a matter of whether or not China will dominate the 21st century. That's the question of whether or not the human spirit can survive the haste in which they're trying to get there.